They're almost melted like our igneous rocks, but not quite. And then a low-grade metamorphism is a small amount of change. So it almost looks identical to the parent rock. A good example around here is our shale to our gneisses. These are most of our foliated rocks. So we have shale, slate, phyllite, schist, and gneiss, and that's how they pronounce them. And these are from low to high grade metamorphism. They're more compressed and they become more toothpaste-like and melted the higher the grade becomes. Then we also have our non-foliated rocks, and these ones are a little bit hard to identify at times. So we have our quartzite, and quartzite is pretty easy. Quartzite looks almost like your sandstone, except now it's been melted together a little bit and it looks a little glassy and you'll see these little fractures. And then we have marble, which is limestone or calcite, and that's been also metamorphosed by heat and hydrothermal fluids. And that one will usually look like a white or colored rock. Importantly, it fizzes under acid if you test it for like the midterm or something. And then our third non-foliated rock you're really going to encounter is anthracite coal. And this is kind of a contentious one because coal has all been modified by heat and pressure to go from that plant matter into a rock. But anthracite coal is kind of like the ambiguous line where we decided that was a metamorphic rock. And in this lab, you'll have to give the argument to why anthracite could either be sedimentary or metamorphic. Now, remember with these foliated textures, we have our slatey. Our slate is almost exactly the same as our shale we looked at earlier, except when you drop it, it kind of sounds like a plate instead of a dull thud. Then we have our phylitic texture, which is a lot like slate, but a little more wavy. That one's pretty hard to see. That one's not going to be in your sample box. Then we have our schistose texture, and the way I like to describe this one is the minerals have been compressed enough to look like glitter, almost, and they're pretty wavy now. And then we have our gneissic texture, and a lot of people will usually mistake gneiss for granite, but a gneissic texture almost looks like granite, except it has kind of that toothpastey, wavy consistency to it. But this is going to be more of like a big chunk of rock instead of foliated plains like the previous three textures.